so you can give him...
Cool, you're going.
Good? Okay, so the evap, we want to find which one is the vent from the tank and then pop that into the intake pre-turbo. The cruise control, we want to remove that and this cable, so it'll only have one throttle cable. The ABS, we'll remove that, and I can tell you guys where to buy the lines for that. The ABS relays, we can relocate those like down here or down here just to be a little bit more sightly. When you do intercooler piping, this is called 3-row piping. We want to do what's called 4-row piping. So I think you're going to get the rotating thing or the lower outlet that goes down, right? So then it'll go straight down and to the front there. Over here, you're also going to buy the rad coolant neck, right? And either a Tundra or the rad alternator. This line here is done properly where it is not capped, it loops to the back, but this line is pretty hard, so maybe do a newer line, coolant line. Okay. All right, we should start a new video so it doesn't get so long that it doesn't, it's okay?
I'll throw it on YouTube and then
just
send
okay,
them a link.
Perfect, even better. Okay, so then this here, we want to do the coolant hose simplification. So if you just Google that, or I can send you some links, but basically what they do is they remove this hose, and then this hose becomes the top of that hose, so it does a 90 right out of the back of the head there, and then the other cut part of the hose connects to this lower piece here, and then you just want to use some DEI, some sort of insulated shielding, because the downpipe is obviously right there. So sleeve that, and then this physical metal piece here, which used to bolt onto the back of the Twins, is gone, and then this loop is gone, and one hose, so you buy one new hose from Toyota, is going to be both hoses. Just you're going to cut it.
Sweet, and that'll run right into the turbo.
Neither of these are going to go to the turbo. This is going to be for your turbo here, and this is going to.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it's going to see how it loops.
Oh, I thought that looped back into. No, it doesn't.
This loops back to there. So somebody did this right. A lot of people just put a cap on there, but now you get a hot spot. Same reason why we're not going to cap this. If you cap this, your back of your cylinder head gets super, super hot.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so I think that's pretty much everything over here. Then we'll make sure to leave the mechanical fan. You and Sam can discuss timing belt stuff. We just want to make sure their OEM coils and the coil pack connectors are good. That's a super common thing for them to go bad. You can buy the housings and the terminals from Toyota, or you could 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The last time I did this. Hopefully you still can. If not, I know a place where you can probably get those. So just want to make sure that we have OEM Toyota brand coils with good coils and clips here. Cool. And then the cam crank sensor runs in here, and you just want to make sure that it's still shielded. Sometimes those get kind of degraded over time. Over here, we're going to leave the battery right because we're sticking with stock intake manifold. And then if we can just get this mounted so that it's not flopping around. And then this igniter here, we can just move down there just for a cleanup. The key to doing that is to not cut any wires. If you take out this hard stuff and you do some nice wrap on this here, you can kind of move this down there and make a little bracket to mount it. Generally, the flex fuel sensor gets mounted on that frame rail as well. And then up here, we're gonna move the IAT to the intercooler pipe, say roughly below the headlight. We don't want it on this pipe behind the radiator because it's gonna get heat soaked by all the air coming off the radiator. Then this throttle body, we will have this cut and cleaned, essentially shaved from here forward. This side has been shaved, but this side has not been shaved. So that can get removed there. It's important that this here, this is called the throttle damper, this stays. This is the OEM damper. And that's really important for how it returns to idle. Cool. Which is not adjusted right, actually. Okay, we'll fix that. This map sensor here, we want to mount somewhere back here on the firewall, a bracket or a P-clamp, something really simple. Just make sure the barb is facing down. So any water or condensation that gets in there runs out and it doesn't get in the sensor and freeze. Just we'll clean or replace this intake filter here for the IAC valve. That should be pretty good. Leaving this here for a relatively stock build is probably a good idea, but this is super hard. So maybe replace this with the new hose, and then there's two here. They can also get replaced with the new hose. And then this can connect to the intake pre-turbo, and you should be fine. If we start to push a lot of boost or more power, then we can talk about an upgraded crankcase breather. But if you remove this PCV valve, you've removed the vacuum on here, and you're gonna get a lot more oil leaks. So we do want a Toyota PCV valve, and we do want this connected. Over here, this is the traction control system. So this goes and boosts essentially the brakes when it's under traction control situation. So you can see there's an electric motor here that actually pressurizes this system. I'm not sure exactly how it works other than it literally puts on the brakes for you. Part of that has been removed over here, which had a throttle blade on it. So this whole thing will get removed when the brake lines get done. The proportioning valve on a Mark IV is in the master. So as long as these are, the front is run to the front and the back is to the back, that's gonna proportion it just like stock, but you won't have ABS. So obviously keep that in mind in slippery situations. Then the DLI can get removed completely. So the DLI has 2 power wires generally, or two. Yep, these here, which I think you found in there.
Around to here.
Yep, so get rid of that. And then it has these here, which tap into the signal wires. They're almost always yellow, which they are here. Yep, so remove that and then shrink that. This is the injector resistor bypass. So the OEM injectors are low impedance. We have high impedance injectors. So as long as this solder job or whatever is good under here, this is fine. Just clean this up. So that should clean up a lot of this kind of stuff, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll remove this boost gauge sensor here. You have a whole new radium fuel system. Like I said, just make sure the flex sensor is in the return line down there. And I think, the fuel pressure sensor you can put in the new, you have a new regulator, right?
Yeah.
So that can go in there. I
Sweet.
think that should be everything. Anything else we missed?
I think that's it. Should I give a little rundown on the wiring?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a great
Let's
idea.
take a look. This is the ugly part.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
All right. So the car's on a V1 right now. And you can see they spliced into the harness in a few different areas. Lots of aftermarket wiring coming up here. Let's see here. Pull this guy away if you don't mind. What's that going on?
Here.
Behind the gauges. Shoot. There we go. Alright. So here, it's got a bunch of A-pillar gauges. Rip those out, of course. The gauge controller in here. But then beyond that, just a lot of miscellaneous wiring that runs down to the V1. That of course is just going to take a lot of cleanup work. And then what's with these little boxes up here? I'm trying to give you a picture of kind of what we're working with. I think that most of that's stock. Let's see.
Where's your turn it up knob? That thing's sweet. Oh yeah.
This guy.
Oh, that's
Our sweet 90s traction control dial. We'll probably not use that. Maybe we will. See what Ian thinks. Other than that,
there's some
miscellaneous, yeah. Wonder how many butt connectors will come out of this thing. Yeah. It's kind of ugly. All right.
It's a pretty good start.
I think that's a good, yeah. Sweet. Cool.